Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Darkroom. Today, I'm going to be doing some prints from the after the catch. If you're not familiar with what that is, on the hunt for the sardine fisherman, I got a couple rolls of film after the catch was finished. I didn't get the actual sardine catch itself. I happened to be down the beach and see some guys pulling up the nets and putting everything together at the end of the day. And there's some really wonderful images from this, and it was an incredible experience. Generally, I don't do a lot of portrait work, something that I'm not very confident in, probably because I tend to avoid it, which doesn't make any sense because I'm not going to get any better. But that being said, the portraits I was able to get of these guys, I really enjoy them a lot. And I just think that putting a print together would be a really wonderful way to sort of complete that experience and that process. So I've chosen one negative to print, and this is from the Pentax 6X7. We're running the medium format film. It's quite thin, and recent experience tells me that my exposure times are going to be very short. Under 3 seconds is what I'm guessing. So I have a 1.5 grade filter as my starting point. It was later in the afternoon, but some of the contrast between the white clothes and the darker clothes and the definitely sun and weather worn skin tones make me think that starting at 1.5 is a good place to be. So that's what I've got going on. I'm going to do a test print, and I'm thinking of doing a 2-second base exposure and then cutting off half of it, and I've got the 2 subjects, and then doing another second. So I can see 3 seconds, and then I can see 2 seconds and make a judgment from there. So that's it. The plan is set. Time to get started. First look, and I'm really happy with where this is going. The 2 seconds clearly is not enough, but the 3 seconds really is right in a wonderful spot. There's definitely a nice balance going on in this negative. And I look at it and my first thought is 3 seconds is perfect, spot on, nothing to change. But I will do another test just to see again how far I can push it. I would like a little bit more on the sunny exposed side of the face. And I'm going to do one more test where I will do 3 at the bottom to see how this comes out compared to this one, and 4 on the top just to see if 4 seconds is going a bit too far. But right now, I'm really liking the balance of this negative. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, that 4 seconds came out exceptionally well. I gotta say, I don't think I need to do much more. That first impression, that first look is absolutely spot on. Man, I don't think I need to do anything. I'm in shock, obviously, at this moment. Usually it takes a lot longer to figure this out. 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. I'm going to do a full test print at 4 seconds. I don't see any reason to play around with it. Let's get it done. There's no doubt that 4 seconds is absolutely on target. I'm not going to overthink this one at all. The concern, I think, is probably clear when I was going into the image. One guy's wearing white and one guy is wearing black. And the hope was to be able to not have any issues balancing these two parts. And that's not an issue at all. It is coming out perfectly. You can just still see his eye on the shaded side, which is wonderful. And all the other facial elements are clearly visible. The eyes are clear, staring right at the viewer. And the background in the sea and the sky, I don't want that to be more developed. I don't want it to pull away from the subject. So totally fine with that. I am doing an 8 by 10. So there is going to be a bit more room around the subjects to breathe. And there's a couple guys totally just exhausted and beaten up right here that I want to keep inside that scene to sort of complete the narrative. So I'm done. Full-size print, 4 seconds. And oh man, I hope it comes out as good as this little guy. This one's good enough for the wall, that's for sure. And here we are. That is looking fantastic. I'm so happy. I don't do portraits, and every now and then I'm in this position that's kind of uncomfortable, but there's times when you have to just be proud of something that you've done, and this is definitely one of those moments. This is a really striking image in my opinion. Their eyes are just looking right back at you, and it says so much. And it's beautiful. It really is. I did this at 4.2 seconds, and while everything is set and everything is going, and I've got the paper right here, I am going to see if there's a few tenths left in the image to push a little bit further. The blacks are developed. I don't think they're going to go too much further, but I am interested while I'm here to maybe do a 4.6, maybe 4.8. I'll do a 4.6 just to see if there's any difference at all, if anything marginal. But again, I'm always here to learn and always here to try to create something new and wonderful. And new and wonderful has already been accomplished. So let's just do one more at 4.6. Why not exactly, right? Take a look at it. This is the image at 4.6 seconds. There is a small difference between this image and the other, as we would imagine, with the exposure times being so small. Any change is going to have some visual effect. And I can see it in the sand at the bottom. The shadowed areas are just a little bit more developed, adding a bit more texture to the foreground of the image while not overdoing it. The sea on the horizon is slightly more developed as well, as are the blacks. There is a deeper visual feel to the shadow and the blacks now, but nothing has changed in the faces, which is exactly what I would want to happen. So the subjects are still clear. You can still see all four eyes looking right back at you, and the intensity of their gaze is, it's hard not to get caught looking right back at them. And the rest of the image now just has a touch more depth and visual weight, which I think is ideal. So 4.6 seconds, I'm going to do one more for myself to keep in my portfolio. I know sometimes you shouldn't push your luck, but today I'm feeling like I'm going to do that. I love the prints I was able to get, and I got them pretty quickly. So I've got some more time on my hands, and there's another portrait that I really liked. And it was a debate between the two, but I've got the time, I've got the chemicals set up. Negative is in the enlargers. 35 millimeter Nikon F3 shots. So the time is going to be a bit more. Get some test prints done and go for it. 1.5 grade filter seems to be where I want to be. Again, it's the exact same time within half an hour. So I'm guessing 1.5 grade filter is still going to do what I want. And the time, we're going to have to figure that out. My first test print was at the 1.5 grade filter, and I did 7 seconds and 10 seconds, and clearly it is going too far. The 7 seconds gets me the blacks, but the highlights are just not coming in. So first things first was then change the contrast filter down to a 1 grade so I could control a bit more of the exposure. Then I did 10 seconds and 14 seconds. And the 10 seconds coming in nice, much better than the 1.5 grade filter. 14 getting a bit too heavy. So I thought, okay, I'm on target. Let's go 12.6 seconds. So 1 grade filter, 12.6 seconds. And I've achieved the main target right in here. Lovely. Can't see the eyes, but we see the smile, and that's exactly why I like this portrait so much. But again, the highlights really aren't coming in enough, and I'm thinking, what do I do? Is it time to split grade the filters? Maybe. I'm thinking 11 seconds altogether, and then I'll do a half grade filter for 5 seconds. I have no idea what's going to happen, and that's exactly why I'm going to do it. So let's see what happens. I'm definitely on to something with this plan. I've got more or less the same image as before, but I've got just a little bit more in the face right here. The shadow is not as developed, and the background is almost identical, but the other elements here just aren't quite filling out. And I'm not really thinking of getting out the dodge tools and all of that. I really enjoyed the image, but I'm thinking that I can add more time on the half grade filter and be able to tackle much more of the highlight area and not affect the blacks as much. So I'm going to do one more. I also found a hair. So luckily, the hair was right in the net area, so it stuck out, so I could get that fixed. So hair's gone, refocused, reset the easel. We'll do one more. I'll do 11-second base again, but I'll do like 6.6 seconds. So I'll add 1.6 seconds to the half grade filter and just see what it builds. That extra 1.6 seconds was overly ambitious, and I cooked it for sure. So that's too much. But I do like how the split grade is going in the direction that I want. So I'm going to say 5.8 seconds. I'll split the difference between my test print and this test print. And I'm going to do a full-size print. I'm going all in right now. 11-second base, 5.8 seconds with the half-grade filter. I've been letting this soak for quite some time. I just want to make sure that all of the highlights and the very light tones have a chance to build. But I'm pretty happy with what I see. The overall image is coming in well. And the main goal, of course, is the gentleman in the front, right? That he is the subject, and the people around, not really the thing I want to tackle. I want to make sure that I can see the expression on his face, and that sets the tone for the entire image. So looking really nice so far. Once we get it under some light, I get a better idea if I achieve the target that I want to achieve. I think it's clear to say that the experiment going with the split grade has really paid off for this image. I think the way it's balanced now is far better than what I would be able to achieve if I was just sticking to a single grade contrast filter and trying to manipulate time. I don't even think that there's any reason to start looking at burning or dodging because of split grading it and being able to balance the tones well enough. The white behind the subject is fantastic. It pulls the subject forward and it helps keep the eye in the center of the image, while the other people going about their business just add more narrative to the story. So I'm super happy with the results, and I'm not going to make any changes. I'm going to do one more exactly the same. I think it's a really wonderful image, definitely full of story and full of meaning. It's been a great day in the darkroom so far. Let's get one more of these and call it a day, huh? So the cleaning has begun, the printing is over, and it has been an amazing day in the darkroom. I feel absolutely fantastic. It's a feeling I haven't had for some time, to be honest. It was just so productive and so creative, and the results are incredibly pleasing. I don't know what to say. I don't know if you agree. I hope you do, but it's just been a wonderful day today, and seeing these images and reliving the moment and the experience of being on the beach in the late afternoon with these gentlemen is just an amazing feeling to go through again. Really like the results I was able to get, and just really enjoy the story and the meaning behind the images that I see. And I'm just so happy to be able to relive this experience again by looking back at the images that I was able to capture. So with that, that is the end of this darkroom session. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's been a wonderful day for me. And again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You take care, and I'll see you next time.